Hey guys, it's Roy here, and I'm gonna be talking about how it is to be an ADC. But before that, I'm gonna talk about who won the past RP giveaway, which was Jacob, who with his support Yorick description and actually how detailed it was. It's actually very interesting. Don't get demotivated, yeah, just motivated. Yeah, it's motivated about it. Like if I start rebuttaling, because that actually gives you a higher. Like if you start coming back with a comeback to what I say to you, it actually increases your chances of winning because you're defending your point, which is what I want in the first place. But don't get discouraged. Better. Actually, it was very sweet because Jacob actually posted on the page. I'm actually working on my video editing, so I hope I could put the image and the video around here. But if not, I'm just learning. This is what he said. This is what he posted on the page. I just wanted to say thank you so much for doing the RP giveaway. I love admin that give their fans, and today I was lucky to be one of the fans. You're the best. I'm very happy to get the notes like this. Usually in the page we don't really get a lot of feedback, which would I honestly want more feedback from the page because it gives a lot of motivation to keep posting more stuff. It helps us more. I don't know about the other guys, but I know about me. I like being motivated. When people start commenting, I don't know, it just brings a smile. I don't know, likes or whatever. People just like it or whatever. But comments are just really interesting, really cheer up my day. But yeah, I downloaded this new software that I still don't know how to use. Actually, I'm not even 100% sure if it's on my computer yet. But I'm gonna try. That's a dog. Holy shit. I wish I could just edit this out. Son bitch. Okay, anyway, how I'm gonna be starting making a small series, but this is just gonna be one that I'm going to include in the video series, just so you know how it's going to be further along, and then deal with that. But the first one is obviously gonna be one of my favorite roles, my role, the ADC, or now known as Marksman. How is it like to be a marksman? A lot of people give a lot of shit to ADCs for their attitude and for their cockiness or whatever, but you also have to understand the position that we're in from the beginning of the game. Because usually, ADC, a lot of roles don't really matter. Right, when you start the game, as you duo top and a mid laner, it really doesn't matter a lot of things. But the ADC, you can never feed to the other ADC, or else they'll start blaming you and whatever. So you slowly start developing this pressure upon yourself to start not trying to get the kills and not feed. And as the game progresses, you still find yourself losing, and you're like, well, what's going on? What's wrong? Well, you start realizing that you have to CS. So taking this into account, you have to CS and you have to not feed, and you have to get the kills. So you'll be able to carry the game. That's not that bad, not so demanding for a role. But as the game progresses, you start figuring out that some people don't like playing support, and not only that, they do a shit job as support. Yes, everybody starts defending supports because they're they're underappreciated and blah blah blah. But usually when people start playing supports, they just start healing you from a distance and just ward. You need to be out there. You need to show some presence. You need to harass so that you can see, so that the ADC can CS properly. So even with all that pressure, you have to make sure that he doesn't feed the other ADC. Take into account the other guy's support and the other guy's ADC. Plus, while you farm, while you get kills, and not feed. So Basically, that's like the starting in pressure, but sooner or later you start realizing that a lot of the team fights start falling upon your shoulder, like really like heavily, and then people start just raging at you like, oh, why aren't you doing any damage, blah 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 blah. And then you start taking into account that team fights are supposed to be when you shine. Late game, you have to wait until the late game to matter. So you have to farm CS, not die, take care of your duo bot lane, and the late game. Team fights is where you shine. Sadly enough, in this meta, you have mid laners that mid game and top laners at mid game just start blowing everybody up. You can't really do anything to stop it, because what's going to happen if the top laner feeds or just loses in CS? He's just gonna get so fed to a point that he just jumps to you, blows you up, and then everybody starts blaming you because you couldn't take him out in one hit. And just a lot of people have a lot of negative, a lot of expectations of ADCs, yet they just claim it's easy and whatever. And to me, it's one of the hardest roles. Now it is, like in new meta changes, it is the hardest role. Back then I would have, been okay with support. To me, jungling is a very easy role. I'll talk to you about that in another video. Supports are, like, junglers aren't appreciated. I don't want to start discussing that right now. But supports used to be like one of the hardest roles, but ADCs right now with all the current changes is the hardest role. Now you're counting with harder CC on the other side, plus you have to take in consideration that your support has items that if they motivate them to hit your CS while you start getting to a rhythm of CSing, so you eventually start realizing that you're about to last hit and the other guy fails to last hit, the minion takes the CS, and then you're just mad and you can't rage at him because he was just trying to heal you with that new item that eventually evolves to Face of the Mountain. That, the one that looks like... okay, never mind. Anyway, basically, you have to take all of these things into consideration. And then, like, everybody starts blaming you if you don't start getting kills in the beginning of the game. So, even though a lot of that, actually, as you go upon the game, it has to do a lot with the support making the plays. The support actually landing the CC or the skill shot to be able to, make the plays. Otherwise, at the beginning of the game, you're just weak, and that's just a fact, and you have to get over it. But nobody actually gets to ever understand that. And then eventually you turn into this huge asshole. Why? Because you have to do all these things just to win a game or just to actually get recognition. So don't start blaming every ADC and calling them assholes. I personally say, like, I used to praise a lot of people who played support, even though they were complete shit. And I was just, whatever, you stayed back and you healed me, at least you weren't fucking a hindrance to me. But, I shouldn't have accepted that. I should, like, when you play support, when you play any role, you're supposed to take it seriously. You shouldn't, oh, I got support pick, I'm just not going to play well or whatever, I'm just going to stay behind. No, go do the best you can every game, or at least if you're just having fun, have fun, but use your brain. Try to help out, don't be a hindrance to the other guy, don't try to ruin the other guy's game. Don't be that asshole. No one blames the support nowadays, and I am sorry, but some supports are just shit. And I hate this preconception that you're a good support and you did nothing in the whole game, even though like, for the most part, you are a lot of the CC that holds a team comp together. You have to understand that. And I've seen people I've tried to duo queue with a lot of people, try to make supports with a lot of people who just don't understand that. Who's just like, oh yeah, I'm a support, let me just stay back and just ward and just, like, zero communication, and they always think they're doing what they're supposed to do. It's like, oh, I'm a support, what do you expect me to do? Please stop that. You're shit, and you're supposed to know that you're shit. Do the best you can. Don't accept mediocrity as, oh, and just blame it because you're the support. No. ADCs have enough pressure as it is. We haven't gotten a buffed in a long time. Sure, we got Jinx and Lucian, but Lucian isn't isn't all that buffed and is a really hard champion to play. And Jinx, well, Jinx lacks escapes, and guess who's need to take care of Jinx? Supports, and so most of supports are just complacent being total shit. So playing ADC is really hard, and especially in fucking ranked where you have to actually be dependent on the other person. Like you can't. Like that's why it's easier to play top or jungle or mid to fucking win ranked games. It sucks. Fucking sucks playing ADC. Because you're like, what if your support just fucking goes AFK? Or what if your support just starts feeding? Just straight off the bat. Just like, oh, I got caught every 3 seconds and just blows up. You can't go in there to save him. And you're just going to have to farm and stay back. While the other ADC has more kills, more CS. Because now it's a 2v1. So you can't go out CSing all the time. And, you know, what if your support doesn't ward? I've played games where my support hasn't warded once, especially now with the new changes. They think they're now their new mid laner and don't fucking ward. Have the decency to put 1 or 2 wards. I put my ward down, and you can't even put your fucking trinket down? Oh my god. You selfish. Sorry, I'm just getting personal here, but yeah. Playing ADC is hard, and so is every other role. I'm just defending ADCs because this is the video for ADCs, but you have to just take into consideration and try to put yourself on the other guy's shoes instead of just calling him an asshole for being an asshole. And don't start blaming people, like, and I'll slowly make these videos so you put yourself in their situations. Don't start blaming these people why they don't want to play ADC support. Like where every time the game starts it goes, oh, top or mid. Because that's how the game is. Like, it wasn't them. Like, they didn't like just go on to think, oh, you know, I'm just gonna hog this role because it's more appealing. No, it's because right now these changes, it's the one that has a tendency of winning the game early, like in mid lane. That's how 20-minute games are just easily won by fed mid laners or fed top laners. Like, what's scarier, Fed Zed or Fed well, Vayne is scary, but she's very squishy. Zed at least has the capability of just disappearing. Period. And what about a Fed Riven? That shit just not right. That is just scary. I've seen Riven with almost no health just fucking 1v5 everybody because of her stupid shield, low cooldowns, and just CC up the ass. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that playing ADC is not easy, and don't blame every other guy for being an asshole. You know, if you find an ADC that was being an asshole, just tell him straight off the bat, you know, dude, I got your back, don't worry, you know, I'm sorry for the shitty supports that you've ever gotten in your lifetime. But whatever, I'll try to be different. If you're playing support or if you're just playing something else, you just try to put yourself in his situation. I'm not saying that every ADC asshole is actually not an asshole. It's just like, you know, a very hurt guy. But, you know, try to be that guy, that one guy that just, you know, compliments, you know, the other guy for getting a kill or something. You know, yeah, that's basically it. I'm really working on this whole video editing thing. Next week is going to be hard for me because I have exams, but after that, like, I'm clear after Thursday, so I'm just going to get more into this, like, video editing and just try to put, like, icon for a logo here and here. Actually take the winning comments and put them, like, somewhere. That'd be cool. And then, I don't know, I'll see what I can do. Hopefully I'll start streaming after I get my new laptop. Streaming out of a laptop. I know, it's horrible, but I have my reasons. Hopefully I'll make a video explaining why I'm forced to stream out of a laptop instead of an actual PC. You guys will probably think it's a horrible idea to stream out of a laptop. I think so too, but I don't have much of an option. So yeah, the admin question of the week. Crap, I didn't think of this. You know what? Because I've tried to motivate people to actually start talking about professional League of Legends in the page, and no one's actually done it. I'm gonna make a LCS reference. Who do you think is gonna take it in season 4 in NA and EU? like yeah, NAU, and tell me why, and don't tell me, oh, Cloud9 because blah blah blah. You know, I get it. You can talk about Cloud9, but you know, just because they were the most dominant team last time doesn't mean that they are invincible. Especially now, they lost recently against Gambit and Fnatic. They got crushed by European teams, and you know, I think now those losses are just showing everybody that they're not. You know, it's like the Wild Turtle effect. I'm totally calling this the Wild Turtle effect. You know, Wild Turtle stormed in the summer split, just destroyed everybody because he was constantly in solo queue and no one knew that much about him. But eventually, everybody got used to him. Like, he just got shredded when last split. And everybody who's a Turtle fan, I get it, dude. Wild Turtle and Double Lift are like they're my background. I get it. He's an amazing guy. He's funny as hell. Winter split, he wasn't that good. Let's just be honest. He didn't actually beat another AD carry unless it was Velocity or Coast. You know, I'm a Cutie Pie did better than him. Double Lift did way better. Double Lift was the best ADC. Sneaky is not a very good ADC. I don't think he's like outstanding an ADC. Like, he's like the top, but he's a very I think he just has a lot of synergy with elimination, and that's the reason why they're winning. But other than that, I don't think he has like the potential to just basically 1v5 like you know, Double Lift eventually did before, not now. But you know, Double Lift was the beast, and I hope eventually he comes back. But lately he's been playing like shit. I think Cop did better than Wild Turtle too. I don't know. TSM was not that. The only reason TSM was winning like lately is because of their synergy, and now there are a lot of changes. It's gonna be interesting to see if the new talent and skill will be able to replace synergy, and if not, then they will fall apart, which is I think interesting to see. I don't have a hatred towards TSM. I just think everybody's giving them too much hype, and I get the hype. I started researching them, so I get it. But yeah, I honestly think they should get into relegation, so maybe they wake up and start realizing that they're not that bad. This video is taking forever. I hope it's not like already 10 minutes. It's probably 10 minutes, and I'm so sorry. So yeah, I'll see you guys next week. $10 of RP every week until the next video will be the last RP giveaway. Unless we reach like 100, like 50 subscribers on YouTube. So peace.